Okay, let's get started. The Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Men's Gold Ghana has petitioned the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, to arrest the CEO of Men's Gold, Nana Appiah-Mensah, for allegedly extorting money from already impoverished members. Now, the customers say that they have received messages from the company instructing them to pay certain amounts to validate their accounts in order to receive payments of their locked-up investments. Today, EOCO has invited leadership of the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Men's Gold for a meeting. We're going to bring you details of the outcomes of that meeting. First, though, data analyst with our research desk, Kofi Ejay, runs us through a background of this Men's Gold saga. Kofi, it's good to see you.
You too, Kojo. Well, now let's look at the Men's Gold saga. This is why it is so big. As of 2018, when this saga actually broke, we're looking at somewhere around 1.68 billion Ghana cedis involved, with about 16,000, investors, if I should put it that way, who had their monies locked up in this investment scheme. Currently, if you should value this in dollar terms, we are looking at somewhere around $170 million. Then it could be around $200 million that we are talking about. Now, if you look at the next slide, this was the statement that Men's Gold actually issued on the July 30th, calling all clients to submit, supporting document for validation. Now, this has become so crucial in this instance, validation. What does it mean in this Men's Gold saga? You read a statement saying that some members say they've received messages and Men's Gold asking them to pay some amount before they can validate their account. Now, there was an assessment done by Men's Gold, and this was the outcome. Let's look at it. So, according to Men's Gold, all those who submitted claims or supporting documents for validation, about 60% of these claims submitted to Men's Gold were deemed as defects. They had some sort of defect in terms of the information or supporting document that they submitted to Men's Gold for validation. So, what does this really mean? If your supportive document actually went through, or your validation went through, the Men's Gold has an information for you. I'm reading the statement that was issued by Men's Gold. It says that transaction status verification, and Kojo, point 1 says these are the people who could not go through the system. People who had irregularities or inconsistencies of the records on the face of the document. Now, those who had fake supporting documents were deemed as, customers with not valid supporting documents, fake authorized signatures or unofficial transaction endorsement stamps, transaction that has been exhausted 12-month cycle, and then false claims, illegitimate claims, and all of that. Amongst it, there are about 10 of them. But I want to take you to the touch screen again. It says that July 10 called on a client to submit supporting document. We've already spoken about that. But with this Men's Gold, if your claim actually went through, what does it mean? Men's Gold is saying that all valid transactions are assigned a full debt settlement, a defined date, clearly indicating they are eligible, reported to be honored via a direct bank wire, transfer, a copy of the SWIFT advice, which shall be filed at court of law. Now, this is very interesting. Men's Gold is saying that they have some sort of challenge. They can't go around establishing, centers across the country. And so they are going to use an online or digital means to, verify the claim, the payment, and all of those things. So if you are part of the 40% that your payment or your validation or your documents went through, Men's Gold is saying they are assuring you that you're going to have your payment. But 60% of you who, sent your supporting document, Men's Gold has a very simple message for you. They say that, the documents you submitted were not fit for purpose. They had a lot of false claims in there, and so they cannot go ahead with the processing of the document. Kojo.
Right. So, we do have some information coming in from the Attorney General's office. We understand that the Attorney General has filed charges against Nana Appiah-Mensah, known popularly as NAM1, And the court has fixed a hearing for the 19th of September. We have the details of the charges here, and I'm reading directly from the charge sheet. It says, count 1, selling gold contrary to section 99(1) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, which is Act 703. The particulars of the offence are that Nana Appiah Mensah and Brew Marketing Consult Limited, who are the third accused, if you will. So the first accused is Nana Appiah Mensah, the second is Men's Gold Ghana, and the third is Brew Marketing Consult Ghana Limited. So it says here, Nana Appiah Mensah and Brew Marketing Consult Limited between 2017 and 2019 in Accra, in the Greater Accra region of the Republic of Ghana, sold gold to members of the public without a license. Count 2 is operating a deposit-taking business without a license, contrary to sections 6.1 and 22.1 of the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2016. That's Act 930. Again, the details follow. Count 3, inducement to invest contrary to section 344 of the Companies Act 2019, which is Act 992. And again, the details are there, that he induced members of the public to invest 1,680,920,000 Ghana cedis. That's 1,680,920,000 Ghana cedis in Men's Gold Ghana Company Limited by representing that they were authorized to take gold deposits in return for profits. This statement, according to the Attorney General, was misleading. The fourth count is defrauding by false pretense, contrary to section 1311 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. And here again, Nana Appiah Mensah and Men's Gold Ghana between 2016 and 2018 are accused of doing exactly this by representing Men's Gold as a company licensed to take gold deposit in return for profit on the value of the gold deposit, which according to the Attorney General, they knew to be false at the time of making this claim. The fifth count is defrauding by false pretense, contrary to section 1311 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. And again, Nana Appiah Mensah and Brew Marketing are accused of intending to defraud, obtaining the consent of Angelina van der Palen to part with a sum of 20,060 Ghana cedis by representing Brew Marketing Consult as a company licensed to sell gold deposit. So there is a specific person here who is the complainant, if you will. Count 6, defrauding by false pretense again, and this time around the person is Beatrice Owusu-Ansah. Then there is another count of defrauding by false pretenses. This one pertains to the same Beatrice Owusu-Ansah. And there are several others. George Owusu in count 8. Count 9 also pertains to George Owusu. And then there is Benjamin Eduse Poku and Emmanuel Boache. In fact, the list is quite long. Eunice Quarte and several others, details of which we will be sharing as the day unfolds. Now, convener of the Coalition of Aggrieved Men's Gold Customers, Fred Forson, joins us here in the studio. He has a little bit more following a meeting that was called by IOCO, which I suspect Fred and some colleagues attended. Fred, it's good to have you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Right then. So let's start with the latest. The Attorney General has charged NAM1 several counts, including defrauding by false pretenses, receiving deposits without a license, trading without a license, and so forth. Your reaction to this?
Well, I think it's a good it's a piece of good news, and at least customers will be relieved. And we had waited for this action for the past 3-4 years, and now that the AG has come to the fore, I think it's good. Customers will be relieved. If for nothing at all, not vengeance, but at least we know that you can't just even look at what is happening for the past 2 weeks. We have been complaining severally. Yesterday, I had to put on social media that if by close of day the gentleman is not arrested, we shall march to the military high command. So with this action, at least it will calm nerves, because what is happening is very bad. It looks as if NAM1 is the owner of Ghana, to the extent that he put out information, daylight robbery, demanding, extorting money from people. We have made several complaints, petitioned the IGP, and it appears there's no action. But just before I walk into the studio, I just checked on his Twitter, and he said, in everything, thank God. So then I suspected that maybe something is happening. Just go and check. So at least we'll have some, I believe that this is a journey to come to the finality in respect of the criminal aspect. Even though as customers, the ultimate goal is to retrieve our money, and our focus is on the state, because yes, these are the criminal aspect. The state also cannot exonerate itself in this matter. Could you? And this is a typical example that the state always renege on its responsibility. For 2 weeks, we haven't heard from SEC, we haven't heard from Bank of Ghana. The gentleman is extorting money from the public. No statement. So even yesterday, these are the content of my words, of my post, that they will wait, sit down for this gentleman to continue to extort money from us. Then later on, they will issue a series of presses. Then finally, they come and say, we want them. Meanwhile, we are supposed to take action. So I think we welcome this news, and we want to see more action, and we want them to fast track it. So that, because it's like we have wasted 3 years.
For a long time, the view was that, the view among many of your members was that the government will never prosecute NAM1. There was even a time when the IOCO boss was asking questions about our existing laws and the suitability of those laws for prosecuting NAM1. That didn't go down well with some of you.
With us.
Does this restore your faith in the intent of the state to protect members like yourself?
At least it is said that half a loaf is better than none. At least something, the AG has gone further to sort of, I haven't seen the details or the particulars of the charges. I'm just taking this from you. But at least he has given some indications, all right, that those charges that we were being thrown about, now is being crystallized. On the 19th of September, we shall be in the courts and witness how the whole thing will start. And so I think it's a good start, and we want to commend the AG, even though it's late in coming, but at least it's sort of let us know that justice, even though we don't know the outcome of it, but it's a good start. That's what I'll say for now. And we are also cautious, because at the end of the day, it's our money that we want. Yes, these are criminal charges, and in Ghana here, with our jurisprudence, the criminal prosecutions have 2 outcomes. You understand? It's either a head or a tail. So at the end of the day, our money is more. We are also looking at the money, and the AG, even though we have some engagements for the past 1 year, the coalition leadership have had several engagements with him in respect of this case, and even how to retrieve our money. So even as he's going about this, would wish him, if I had met him one-on-one, I would also suggest that he should also suggest, since being the legal advisor to the president or the government, as to how customer could be settled, because it's past. For 12th September will be 50 years that the incident happened.
Let me ask you this. You know that very often we've had conversations about this men's gold situation, and I always challenge your position. I always challenge this idea of whether or not you and your colleagues, all of you, are victims in the true sense of the word, or whether you didn't seek an investment which went bad. Now, I'm bringing it up again because not so long ago, a couple of weeks ago, he asked for people to come and pay, people who he owes, to come and pay him to pay them. And some of your members did. So let me ask you this. I mean, at this point, are you still expecting someone to protect you when you know, I'm talking to the members. I'm talking about the members who have made.
You know what?
Yeah.
Ask all the questions in the world you want. I will also provide the answers.
Please, then go ahead. I mean, are you still expecting protection?
You see, what I've come to realize is that to be vulnerable, it is not tied to your education or your development, but it's due to the circumstances. Could you believe that there are PhD holders who have even fallen victim to the current scam, the 650 Ghana? So I come to that conclusion that, and you came to mind, I remember that they were sitting here when you raised, I think the morning show, that being vulnerable, it's not about whether you are developed or you have a high degree or you have education or you are financially sound. The victims, or more or less the affected customers of Men's Good, we have the people from the Bank of Ghana in there. At the same time, they were issuing warnings. So it's not, there is a drive, there's something that drives you to go into it.
Is it vulnerability or greed?
It is not.
Let me ask you this. Did you fall for the second one? Did you?
Why should I? I was, but you know that, let me tell you.
Excellent.
We've been doing this. You know that ever since this unfortunate incident happened in 2018, my group and I have been advocates. Because if we have fallen victims, I don't want my friend, my senior Kojo to fall into it.
Right.
So quickly when we see it, we caution people. So remember last year we did a story about the CD coin. It is our group, together with Bridget Otu and the rest of them, and you yourself and other people, that we were able to nib it in the bud at the embryonic stage. So we cautioned, but it appears there is sort of desperations in the system. His money is locked up, and you know what? I don't know whether you have time. NAM1 has been able to buy or earn the confidence or the trust of the people. So even as for the past 5 years we have done our part, some people still believe that and so they went, even though we advise them against that, at least we now have evidence that this didn't happen. This morning, some of the exhibit, I sent it somewhere else, maybe off scene, I will share with you.
So my question really is whether or not, because I agree that some people are still falling for this.
Yes.
It's evident.
Yes.
Right. You didn't fall for it. You are in the same system which is tough, which is tight.
Great.
You have also lost money.
Yeah.
The desperation that people feel, you know exactly what it feels like. My question to you is this. If people are still falling for it under the same circumstances which you didn't fall, are these people vulnerable or gullible?
I would say vulnerable, but why don't we remove that object that attract them to fall for it? Because it's the only one thing that's against millions or thousands of Ghanaians. That's why I was so annoyed, let me use the word, yesterday, that our security agencies and our authorities will sit down and watch this thing for 2 good weeks. My goodness. What are we doing to ourselves?
What happened at the meeting with the Yoko boss?
Actually, no, it was not a meeting. The letter that was transmitted from the AG's office. In fact, like I said, we've been working with him for the past years. Under the RTI, I remember you even gave me a hint the last time we came. So I did several follow-ups and reminders. And the last reminder was 23rd July. Then the AG wrote to Yoko to release the information to us. So I did a follow-up last Thursday at their legal department. And today, when the invitation was that they acknowledge, this is the letter, maybe you can have a look at, they acknowledge receipt of the letter and still saying that they are in the process of compiling the data.
Right.
Yes, I wasn't happy with that. The word that the chief executive added, the last letter, that even though the case is still active. Yeah, the AG knows that the case is still active and he wants you. I believe that this does not mean that this will cause the delay of the release of the information. I don't know. I don't know whether you know what I'm thinking about. If you add that the case is still active, does it mean that this prevents you from releasing the information? Because we need the information to enable us progress with whatever civil route that we are also pursuing with the other authorities.
You know, to be fair to both sides, could it simply be that because the case is active, the information is not held in one place, there might be various officers taking custody of various parts of the information, for which reason there is a need for collation of that information?
No, because the AG was categorical. According to Section 2 of the Act 9, the Right to Information Act, it says that when they are not seized, the AG is not seized, the institution that has it, and the IOCO is under AG. So AG knows that you are seized with the information. So it's not like they think that the information, some is in Quanta, some is in Apiuska, or some is here. They believe that the AG has the information.
As the
transmitter letter that I think I even shared with the production team of something. So we expect them to just give us how much gold was confiscated, how much was in the bank account, how many vehicles were sold, and how much were the total sales realized and stuff like that. There were about 14 points that we raised, that we wanted responses.
So they say they are compiling the information for you.
Yeah.
But there isn't a timeline here. So what's the next step?
I'm going to go back to read the acts again. Because the other one, the chief director made a statement and it took us almost a year. And this time we don't want to, with your advice the other day, we look at the law and see what are the timelines when they say they are compiling the information, whether the acts give them timelines. After issuing the statement, when should we expect the information to be released to us?
Right. It's all in the act. You'll be able to ascertain that. But I am interested now in the next steps. The Attorney General has brought charges.
Yes.
There'll be a hearing on the 19th, beyond which we will know how that case is going to proceed. But you guys,
but it appears this one is different from the current incidents. Because it appears these charges are based on the crimes he committed before 2018.
Yes, as you are
aware, 2 weeks ago, there are crimes. He's still extorting money.
I haven't gone through the whole charge sheet, so I can't speak to that. What I can ask you though is, what do you do next? Because your intent is to get your money.
Yeah.
A criminal case may not necessarily result in that. So what move do you have on the chessboard now?
For now, before Parliament went on recess, we had a second meeting with the Right Honourable Speaker, and he has assured us that when they come back from recess, he will set up a motion will be moved. Then a 5-member committee will be set up to look into the matter. And it is not to investigate men's good or NAM1 or to look into the criminal matter. They are interested in how the people, the affected customers, will retrieve their money. And from the discussion or what happened at the meeting, they will want to collaborate with the government. And I'm sure the president last year gave us indication and we presented a petition. So I believe that collaboration can work together with the AG if he can also come in and assist with his advice, that even though the criminal matter is going on, still the civil one can also go on. Because with the banking sector, I'm sure even some of the people who are still in court, yet customers have been bailed out largely. So we believe that it's not going to prejudice the current case. And this is what we are looking forward to. And I believe that whoever is listening, whether you're a minister, you may be called, or you may be part of the decision-making body, we plead with you. Help us to retrieve locked up in
the last 30 seconds, I'd love your response to NAM1's recent interaction with some members of the public on Twitter Spaces. What's your take on that?
You said last 30 seconds. We have learned through very hard ways that, first of all, I have to apologize to Multimedia for the incident that happened. I remember the early days of this issue. I'm told that during the first demonstration, some of your units were manhandled. Yeah. And I have to apologize because we have learned through a very hard way that we are all along, we were dealing with a Yahoo operative and we didn't know.
Allegedly.
Oh, it's not. It's a word. It's a common parlance that we use.
I have to say allegedly.
If you tell me that you owe me, I should give you 650 Ghana for you to find out whether you are indebted to me. It's an insult. Number two, you, the very person, go there to create a payboy company, and I am supposed to look for a debt collecting company. That's not the normal procedure. Then you, the one who is indebted to me, now look for a debt collecting company, and they tell me that go to the debt collecting company, and when you pay money to the debt collecting company, maybe some way, somehow, you break me to start paying you. I mean, this is crazy. And as a country, we are sitting down watching this gentleman. Please, NAM1, I'm told that 14 September, you have set it as a deadline that those who are not able to verify, they forfeit their right to be customers. Make the deadline today because we aren't coming. And let's see if you are a man.
Well, Fred, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for making time to speak to us this afternoon. We'll keep an eye on these processes to see how they unfold.